They've won Tonys and Oscars and Emmys and Grammys. There's no red carpet because they're home in their jammies. From Melrose Place to Broadway to Janeway and her crew. Let Seth and James bring all the stars to you.
Anywho.
They're entertaining everyone, so who's gonna grouse? Just sit right back and you'll hear some tales on Stars in the House.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Stars in the House. I'm James Wesley.
And I'm Seth Rudetsky. And together we're... Nothing.
Married?
Yeah, we are. Hey, for regular viewers, look, we sassed up our background. We made it nicer for you.
Yes, we have changed it up post-election and for family ties.
Yeah, and for the 80s, I'm wearing my what?
Oh, wow.
Atari shirt. Hey. Okay, so what is Stars in the House? I know a lot of you viewers are here for family ties and family ties alone. But it is a fundraiser for the Actors Fund. And the Actors Fund is, as we say, those of us that did well on our SATs, not me.
Well,
Alex Keaton.
That's right. Alex Keaton would say this. A
misnomer. So the Actors Fund is not just for actors. It is for anybody in the arts. You could be an actor, singer, dancer, performer, for sure, for shizzle.
Anywhere in the country.
Anywhere in the country. But also anyone who works backstage. So the wig makers, the makeup artists, the prop masters, anyone that works in front of the house. So box office, house manager, anyone that works on a set that does the catering. Anyone that works in the arts can go to actorsfund.org.
The people who were just laid off at Disney World, for example, because of COVID. Everyone needs help with health insurance. This is what the Actors Fund will do. Pay for your health insurance, pay for deductibles that you may have. They'll literally pay for your groceries, help you pay with your rent, utilities, anyone. We're talking about people in the artistic director's office at a theater in Colorado, all across the country. If you need help, you can go to actorsfund.org. If you are able to give and you would like one of the cast members from Family Ties to read
your
donations aloud, go to starsinthehouse.com and donate, or you can text Fund 2020 to 56512, and then you'll get a receipt from the Actors Fund, and you will forward that receipt to donations at starsinthehouse.com.
Yes. Is there anything else you have to say?
Well, I can say how much we've raised so far.
Oh yeah, so we began obviously when everything shut down in March. James and I were like, we got to raise money for the Actors Fund. They give out so much money, so we have raised nice money from viewers, but just know they need so much more because times are tough, man. How much have we raised since March?
$563,600.
Hallelujah. That's really amazing. And it's
not corporate donations.
It's just viewers like you, but it really is true.
Yeah,
just,
it really is.
And our regulars.
And here's the thing. So, okay, this is an example.
We are mom and pop.
We're pop and pop, mom and pop. Even though we're very happy that people.com is streaming us, this is like a low budget show, okay?
Oh no.
There goes the dog chasing the cat. We're doing this out of our house. The other dog
wants to come
barking.
in. Go get him.
Let me get Bagel. Yeah. And explain StreamYard and like people on the show that are coming from
So before we get to it, so we are on something called StreamYard, which is great because StreamYard is not Zoom. You can show video clips and stuff, but StreamYard doesn't work amazingly unless you have a laptop. And a lot of people tonight are on iPads. So what that happens sometimes is like the sound will go out, whatever. So there may be problems like Michelle Lee.
Marc Price is going to be on his iPhone.
Was it Michelle Lee? It was not slanting. She's like, I can't hear anything. Yeah, whatever. It may be, there may be problems, but
we're all doing the best we can. That's how we look at it in 2020. Yeah. We're all doing the best we can, but it's been so much fun rewatching the show on CBS All Access and reliving those moments. And I've been like, Seth's like, really, James, you need to be watching that many clips. And I'm like, yes, it's one of the best TV shows that's ever was on television. This work is a lot of fun.
So we have great clips tonight. All right, so we're gonna do our intro, right? That's
okay. So we've done, I think, about 250 shows at this point.
Yeah.
This is going to be the first time that we've actually sung together.
We're gonna sing together as our intro.
Sing the one of the most famous and best theme songs ever. Let me get some water.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. All right.
Ready, Seth?
Yes.
All right, hit it.
How long have we been together?
I bet we've been together for 1,000,000 years.
And I'll bet we'll be together for 1,000,000 more.
It's like I started breathing on the night we kissed
together.
And I can't remember what I ever did before.
What do we do, baby, without us? What do we do, baby, without us?
there ain't no nothing we can love each other through.
Woo!
What we do, baby, without us.
Sha-na-na-na. Still got it. For the first time. Introduction.
All right. We're going to go in order of the title credits. All right. Please welcome Meredith Baxter.
Hi.
Meredith.
Oh, that was wonderful. I loved
Thank
it.
you. We're going to bring on Michael Gross.
Hello.
Hi, Michael.
Hi, Meredith.
Hi, darling. How are you?
Good.
Michael J. Fox.
Honey. Oh, it's so long. Oh, my
And
God.
Tina Yothers. Hi, Tina.
Hey guys.
Tina. Oh,
Hello.
Lordy. Look at you.
Hi, Mama.
Hi, baby.
Your background, Tina. I love it. It's an homage. Oh, my
My
Lord.
best friend Valerie bought it for me.
Is it always like that?
It's always like that.
Hey, so Tina, that's not a green screen. That's
This is
literally
my
your house.
family room.
Oh, it's beautiful. How nice.
Yeah. You people were my family at one point.
Can I say how good it is to see everybody's face?
It is.
Yeah.
I'm actually not wearing my glasses, so I can't see your faces technically.
I can't either.
Tina, should we all put on our glasses and then?
Sure.
Yeah.
Hello. Oh my gosh.
There you go. Just
Hi.
wear them. There's no glare.
There,
There
everyone's
we go.
putting them
Let's just all
on.
do it.
Hi,
I'm
Michael.
that age. Hi.
Get it, Meredith.
Hey, David, can you take off
There
the
we go.
names because I don't want Tina's face to be cut off. There
Well,
we-
unless Tina, can you move your screen? All right, Tina can
That's
also move her
okay.
screen. All right, here we go.
Everyone knows who these people are.
All right.
Okay, so I have before we get started, and we have so many clips, I have to ask the most important question. When you had your first day on the set, what did you decide? You have two Michaels. On Star Trek Voyager, there were three Roberts, and they went by Robert, Rob, Bobby, like different
Right.
names. How did Michael? Who answered?
Well, I think Michael was always Michael. And Mike, weren't you Mike?
I was Mike.
Yeah.
I called you Michael too.
Yeah, my grandmother called me Michael. She wouldn't call me Mike. She didn't want me to call me Michael because she didn't want me to call Mike.
Actually, that first episode for me was a blur, so I remember nothing.
I remember that episode so well. We shot it out at Sunset across from the Denny's. And you and I went to, two of you and I went to lunch at Denny's. It was your birthday. Did you have the same birthday?
Oh, you
Mine?
have the same
Meredith.
birthday, right, Meredith? and
Yes,
Michael?
yes.
Oh, yeah, they did. Yes.
Yeah.
And still do.
Hilarious. So if people don't know Family Ties, it's basically about a liberal couple raising their children, and one of their children is not liberal like they are. And we thought we'd just sort of cleanse the palate with a classic moment of basically the basis of the show.
Yeah, even though this was, I think, in the first episode of the last season, it kind of sums up the
family dynamic.
contrast. Yeah, that's right.
One,
Okay.
2, 3.
All right. Who did this? This is the most regressive, childish, immature thing I have ever seen in my life.
I did the teeth. I did the mustache.
I did the beard.
Who did the antennas?
I think you always had those, honey.
Wow.
I loved it.
Very funny.
Can I say,
Do you guys?
I just want to say one thing, and that is, I love the time that we were together. I mean, that was
Lost
as
you.
I think as you'll all agree, a kinder, gentler politics.
Absolutely.
When we could, when Tip O'Neill and Ronald Reagan could sit down over a glass of Irish whiskey, and these two guys hammer out compromises, and it was a great time. In the same way, we hammered out our compromises in the family, and I think that's one of the things that people loved about us.
I'm trying to raise a 13-year-old and a 15-year-old, and trying to, yeah, it's happening. And trying to navigate them through our democracy and how to make this work. And it's been really difficult to try to set the example with what's been going on. It's really unfortunate. So my daughter's going to vote in the next election. So I want her to get a feel of what America's about. So we need to definitely come back to the Keaton's kitchen table.
Yeah, because this show could not have, would not survive now. We couldn't
It
have the
would.
same.
It would. We have family members that are on different pages, and we do get along.
I think people want a show like this. Michael?
Well, that may be true. But
I mean, Michael, what's your take on it?
I think, I mean, do the show now, realistically, it involves ARP rifles and caravans and people with flags. And it's just I don't even want to touch this politics and then things. Then maybe I live in New York, and it's kind of tough here. And so in 1985 was fun. It was 82. 82 we started. When she said Reagan was the guy. I mean, how many of us would have taken George Bush in a heartbeat last 3 years?
No, exactly. You look like Winston Churchill. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. At all times. So let's talk about goofy stuff.
Maybe
We need to laugh right now.
Maybe some of you can back this up, but didn't our executive producer tell us at one point? I remember hearing that this was Ronald Reagan's favorite television show.
No, that was the whole thing.
Yeah.
I read my book. He asked people called and asked if he could be on the show. And Gary said, Gary the writers, and I was going to be there when they were talking about it. And they were going back and forth and saying, yeah, if he shows up to the past reading on Monday morning, table reading, he shows up to versus Tuesday, shows up to the table read on Wednesday, camera blocking on Thursday. There's the show, stays for pickups, and he can do the show. And he can do it.
Let's go back to the beginning, because I'm always so fascinated how people get roles that now we look at and we're like, oh, the roles were written for them. Like, you guys just seem like these are just the perfect roles for you. But how did it happen? Starting with Michael G. How did you get the gig?
Well, apparently, I auditioned in New York City, where I was primarily a stage actor, and soon heard in a couple of days that they wanted to see me out west. I was put on tape, and the story from our executive producer, Gary David Goldberg, was that his daughter, Shauna, was looking at some of these VHS tapes he was running, looking at and said, oh, I like that guy. I like that guy. And Shauna, in all fairness, still takes 10% of my income for the rest of my life. But no, apparently I owe my success to the producer's daughter, who at that time was maybe 4 or 5 years of age.
Wow.
It paid off. And Meredith Baxter, how did it happen for you?
Gary Goldberg and his wife Diana came to our house for dinner many months before the actual casting of the show. They were talking to a fellow I was married to at the time about a project, and then some months later, they called me and asked if I would like to be in Family Ties. So I think I have no idea what they saw or what happened, but I got the job and he didn't.
It was the way you passed the potatoes at the.
Well, I do have style, I think. Yes.
We got a donation in advance from. Let me just find this person. They donated in honor of Judith Weiner, who cast the pilot and the first season. Perhaps Michael can talk a bit about Judith's influence on getting the role.
Absolutely.
Your wife.
For Mike. I was talking about Judith. The name was on my tongue when you said that. I went into. I was set the scene in 1982. I've been in Los Angeles for 3 years. I dropped out of high school and now I was 18 years old, and I was waiting for my big break to happen, and it hadn't happened. So when I started out, I was only doing movies. By the end, it was like I was stabbed from it. But I went into audition with Kaiser, and they won the magic for 2 hours, and he couldn't do it, so I didn't want to do it. So they auditioned me, and then I was just when they auditioned, and Gary hated me. It was terrible. And he was my champion. He said, "Great, see him again." I need to see him again. So see him again. He said, "I'm a grown man. I know what I like and I don't like, and I don't like this kid. I don't want my show." So finally, I got a month to attack, and they have done anybody knew. So Judith said, goes back here and said, "Gary, do you see the kid now again?" And so he said, "Yeah." And I went in an audition. And Gary, I finished an audition, and Gary goes, "Judith, why didn't you come?"
You know what, Mike? It was hard to hear at the very end because I think there's a little bit of a feedback. So David, our tech guy, because I can hear a little bit of a buzz. It's the platform.
David,
like that.
I think Michael's story is certainly illustrative of how important a good casting director can be.
What should I do, honey?
Who knows your talent, knows what you're capable of, and goes to bat for you.
We're gonna write you in the chat, Michael. Look in the private chat.
Yeah, I'm gonna take you off, and then I'm gonna put in the private chat David's number. Okay. Or David, you can do that because he's on. There you go.
Michael, is that upholstery on your chair from the couch in the living room?
This? Oh,
yeah.
No. I don't care. No.
Very similar.
I'll tell you what I do have. Check this out.
Oh.
Yeah, seriously. Show number 83.
Look at that.
Show number 83,
John Pasquin.
John Pasquin directed, and
yes,
I'll anything that's nailed down. There you go.
That's
Michael,
awesome.
Were you given that or did you take it?
We stole this shit.
What do you think?
I stole this lamp.
Oh my gosh, the lamp, the gorgeous lamp.
I stole this thing behind me that hung in the kitchen right here.
Yeah.
Remember that thing? I was a little looter back then.
So, Tina, how did you get the job?
It's really funny. I was like 7 or 8, and I did a movie called Shoot the Moon. And Gary really liked the movie and liked my character. I was just a kid, being a kid. And he brought me into his big office with his big chair and his big desk. And I sat there. And I had just shot a pilot for Disney, for a Disney Western. And it was so much fun with horses and the stagecoach. And it was, all the fun you could ever have. And he asked me, would you be interested in doing this family sitcom? And I said, are there going to be horses? And he said, probably not horses. And I said, yeah, I'll have to think about it. Well, I made the right decision in not going with the Disney show, but this is my family.
Oh,
so sad.
We got you.
What happened to that Disney show?
Yeah.
It ended up doing like 12 episodes in Australia, which probably was a lot of fun, but not family ties.
Bravo.
So,
how's the audio for Michael?
The choices I made at 8.
What do we think Mike's
is your audio better?
How's that?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's better. I think.
Yeah, it actually is better.
Okay. Did Tina talk about Shoot the Moon?
I did.
Yeah, great Shoot the Moon. She was amazing. So great. So
Thank
you want to tell that story again, or what? Or was it, how much did you get?
You know what? Tell the story one more time because I remember reading it in your book and I was fascinated by it.
Yeah, so Judas brought me in to read for Gary. Gary, long story short, Matthew Broderick wanted Matthew Broderick for the role. Matthew Broderick wanted no part of it. So they came in and auditioned me. He hated me. I thought it was really good, but it's my dog. He thought it was terrible. I'm a Mickey Mouse.
Yes.
So then Judith kept going to him and saying, bring in Mike Fox again, bring in Mike Fox again. He said, no, I don't want to see Mike Fox. I'm a grown man. I know what I like and I know what I don't like, and I don't like that kid. So 2 more weeks go by and she goes, bring in Michael Fox again. He says, Judith, okay, bring him in. And I went in and auditioned, and I did a couple of things different. And he looked at me at the end of the audition, he looked at me, and then he looked at Judith and he said, Judith, why didn't you tell me about this kid? And I got it, and then we had to give it to the network that they could use me because Brandon Tartikoff, who I love, at the time didn't care for me much. And he said, Gary, can you see this kid's face on a lunchbox? And so later on, when Back to the Future came out and I was established as a quasi success, I had a lunchbox made.
Nice.
Boy, did they change their tunes.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, is it true that the first several episodes or something that you were filming before it went on the air that you either rode your bike or took the bus to Paramount? Is that true?
I took the bus.
And I rode my bike, actually.
You rode the bike, yeah.
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
Was that because you were green or because you had no cashola?
No, it was because I was green. I had just always been a bicycle rider, and honest to God, our executive producer, or one of our producers, Carol Himes, I had to talk them into. They wouldn't let me on the lot with a bike. They said, you can't bring that bike here. I said, you giving me a parking place. Said, no, you can't drive. I said, I couldn't.
Is that why you asked me for a ride on Gower and Sunset every morning to bring you in?
I mean, I had to piggyback on Tina's car. No, I just, it was crazy. They wouldn't let me in. I finally had to get permission to bring a bicycle on the Paramount lot. It's so weird. Yeah.
It is weird.
For 2 years, I was a bicycle commuter.
How many miles from Pasadena to Paramount?
Oh, no. He was
Those were the days I was in West Hollywood.
Crescent Heights.
Oh, okay. Like 500 miles on the bike.
Mike?
Speaking of getting to work, can I say a quick story about Meredith and I? I used to live in this cheesy little apartment in Brentwood, which is the slums of Brentwood. And I hang out over a garage, over a back alley. And Meredith would kindly give me rides to work. And she would show up, and of course, if my call, if we were supposed to leave at 8:30, she was gonna pick me up at 8:30. I woke up at 8:29. She would honk the horn, and I'd get in the shower and I'd scramble downstairs half dressed with whatever I needed. I wouldn't have my script. I wouldn't have whatever I needed. I was just a mess. And I climbed in the car in this beautiful Mercedes, this yellow Mercedes, and this beautiful movie star, television star, actress driving me to work every day. I had it made.
I thought that was so much fun. I thought it was so cool, except, I am punctual. That's about
Well,
and I'd pull in and I'd hear the shower turn on, and it's like, really? That's what you're doing now?
And it was so close to the alley. You probably hear the shower in the alley. You probably hear it when it
I heard it all.
And if I know Meredith, she could have started 20 minutes later and still made it on time with the way she drives.
Yeah, she's a fast driver. I like how she drives. It's a big beautiful car too.
Thank you. It was white though.
It was white. Oh,
Yes.
I spoke a lot back then, and my eyes were yellow.
Maybe it was dirty. It was yellow.
Well, speaking of transportation, Tina, I think that you said that one of your favorite episodes was when I think that your dad teaches you how to drive. Is that right?
Right.
Yeah, that was great.
I mean, the fun part of the timing of the show, I wasn't 22 playing an 8-year-old. I was actually 8. And so a lot of the episodes that I got to live out were my actual childhood moments at the time. So the driving experience, that's what I learned. That's how I learned to drive. So
God help you.
But seriously, I mean, every growing boyfriend experience that Jennifer had, those were my first moments. So it was exciting.
Wow. Did you, Tina, was that partly because the writers would ask you like what's going on in your life?
Oh, absolutely. They were totally in tune with the 80s and wanted me to be able to express myself because I had no other friends. All my friends were the PAs on the show or the
Mike Tyson,
the security guard. Mike Tyson was my friend. Will Smith. You remember all my friends. Actually, Solid Gold filmed like close to our stage.
Yes.
So I used to skip school and run to the Solid Gold stage and recruit everyone to come back to our set. And so we had quite an array of artists that would show up.
Clearly, Meredith and I had no control over our children.
I never even knew that stuff was going on.
Solid Gold, really? Oh my gosh! And then after Solid Gold was Arsenio Hall. So we had all the guests from Arsenio Hall that I'd invite them over to the set. So
you got
a fun time, fun childhood.
You were very busy. Well, one of the things I love about like I said, I've had so much fun watching past episodes, and so I found like we can only do with YouTube like in 30-second chunks because basically no one's in their office, so it's like algorithms block you. So
we get flagged.
Yeah, we get flagged. So we're like I said, we're a mom and pop shop here. So like little 30-second, but I love it because we divide it into 2 30-second clips. The first one is where, Steven is like in charge. And then the second clip after that is basically where the women take over, you take over, Tina. It's I love the physicality of it all. Yeah. All of the shows, all of you are just like, it's so real, a mini play and just like go. So Seth, you want to hit it?
Yeah, here's clip one.
Clip one, yeah.
Start the car. Okay. Now pull carefully into the street, checking both ways for traffic. Stop! Stop! You almost hit that bicycle.
Jennifer, if you can't drive more carefully, I'm going to have to get out. Drop me off at the mall.
I love it.
I love your driving outfit, the beret and the scarf.
Oh yes, yes. Style is
He's
everything.
such a theater Betty.
I was going to say it's 30-second pieces.
Yeah.
Michael Gross has pauses of 30 seconds between.
Mike Fox, that was a big challenge.
Milk it, and then kill on the 29th second.
Learned that from Jack Benny.
Amazing. It's amazing cakes.
That's a good point.
All good.
You would have shown part 2.
Yeah, here's that second clip where this is.
I've
this
lost
is
my
really-
sound. I can't hear.
This happens all the time.
You might maybe sign off.
You have to
Meredith,
sign off and come back.
Meredith,
That might be
it's
the correct-
Nice back there.
Yeah, that happens all the time. Here we go. This is clip 2. This reminds me of acting class in college.
Oh yeah.
Oh, uh-oh, there's a cop behind us.
Where?
Right there. I'm going to try to lose him.
Jennifer, no.
Jen,
Jen!
hold on.
Jen!
Oh, no, the drawbridge is up.
Oh my God.
That's fantastic. You guys are
We
great.
tackled so many serious subjects on the show, and yet time and again, people come up to me in the street and they'll tell me about wonderful, silly slapstick. You know, they come up to me. It's like, I love the one with the kangaroo in the living room. It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Michael, explain this one. Explain this one. If I were a Pop-Tart, if this were a Pop-Tart, I'd be dead by now. All time. And it's so hard to keep a straight face when you said that line. I just was done.
You know what's the funny thing is the funny parts, like the funny scenes, we could get through. It was when we had to be serious, is when Michael would come over and like fart next to me, and then like we'd be like, "Really?" or whisper something in my ear, and those were the moments that were hard to keep a straight face.
Talk about Michael Fox.
She said, "Michael, we established
Both of you,
We established.
Wait a minute.
It's already this part. That's part of the
Dad,
script.
you're the worst.
I don't remember that.
Well, I'll tell you. I'm
You
going
would
to ask
actually
you.
place
Do you
my hand
remember?
near your butt and fart on it.
You might have a class action suit.
This is a family show. Come on.
And you know,
Well,
Michael would
that's
also do
sponge bath.
something. We would be standing. He and I would be standing backstage, ready to enter in the kitchen. And we'd be talking, and I wouldn't be watching the cue light because I was talking to him. And all of a sudden he'd say, "Go, go, go," as my cue to run into the scene. So I would run into the scene, and the people in the scene would turn around and go, What are you doing? So you go, because he sent me in too early. And of course, the audience loves this. This is very, very funny. They're killing themselves with laughter. And I go backstage and I get furious at him and calms down. They start again, and we're talking and talking. He says, "Go, go, go." And I go again.
Gullible.
Okay, wait a minute.
He was a sucker.
Its way.
Okay, wait a minute. Tina and Michael, you were talking about the keeping a straight face, and the hard part was in serious scenes. I actually one of the episodes that I was watching, I think it's when Skippy was going to the army, right? And I watched the scene, and it looked like at the table where Dad was reading the letter in Spanish, it looked like they're all of you are beginning to crack up, especially beginning with Mike Fox, and then Tina was looking at Mike.
You keep egging him on.
We're actually going to show this twice.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I love that it was just kept.
Yeah, Mike Fox, you're laughing a lot.
So on our screen here, we have bloopers. Even though, by the way, it was not a blooper.
It was shown on Network TV.
On Network TV.
Okay,
I'm not surprised.
Mis amigos Keatons. Todo está muy bueno aquí en Akron.
There was something about Akron.
How do you know, Jennifer? Did you take Spanish?
You know,
It begins with Mike, and then Tina looks at Mike, and then Michael, you touch the arm of just, I mean, it's hilarious.
Oh, he would crack me up. It's just things, it's so like clean and theatery and like, and it's ridiculous. He's saying it's ridiculous. He said ridiculous to make it kind of Shakespearean. It's hilarious. Right from the beginning, he had me. And then he went to Los Toros or whatever he said. Oh, he's going to go all the way on the. He'll take the beat and get me out to the line. Like, just say the line so I get off me, and I won't laugh. But he's amazing.
I so enjoyed Michael's response on that, just watching him. Of course, you told me to watch him, but it's an indication of Michael's response to that was, I think, an indication of how much we enjoyed watching each other. You know, we appreciated each other's work, and Justine, who was probably the brightest bulb in the room, played this dimwit, and I always thought that was so much fun to watch. And I think Michael's reaction, again, is just an indication of how much we enjoyed each other, of watching each other work.
Yeah, you can tell.
Here comes Mike.
Here's Mike. There you're back.
You're back.
Funny anecdote about me, I was lost in the ozone.
You want to show the second part? And
yes.
And then Tina, after this, we have part 2 of this, what I call a blooper. And then Tina, I texted you some donations. So after this, we'll read, because this is a fundraiser, like we said, for the Actors Fund. And donations have already started coming in.
So this is part of the Spanish scene where Mike Fox is still laughing. Here we go.
he's only been gone a couple of weeks, but I really miss our little Scapito.
I can't believe this, Deb, but I have to agree with you.
Wait, we have to watch that again. You literally break out laughing. Mike, watch yourself. You literally start laughing. Hold on.
I said to the directors, don't hold us in a 2-shot. Get us in singles. I'm killing him on the close-up. I'm like, 2 shots. I can't stop laughing. And he's doing like A-grade work. And I'm like, you made me laugh. I mean, nobody made me laugh as much as Michael did.
We're watching it to the end of the scene. You'll see. Hold on.
He's only been gone a couple of weeks, but I really miss our little Scapito.
I can't believe this, Deb, but I have to agree with you. I mean, remember all the silly things he used to do? Like when he'd come over to see us, instead of knocking on the door, he'd squish his face up against the glass
Jesus.
Did you get the donation? Oh, go ahead.
I did.
Michael, notice the quaver in his voice. Did I say my little Scapito? He's got that little quaver. That's what kills you.
Scapito.
The writing was so wonderful. How could you mess that up? Oh my God.
Scapito.
Will you read some of the donations from our lovely viewers?
This is like when I used to do the Jerry Lewis telethon.
Yes.
Steven from NYC donated $50 in honor of his late friend Judith Weiner, who casted the pilot in 4 seasons of Family Ties. Thank you, Stephen. Mernez from California, $5. I grew up on reruns of Family Ties. I loved the liberal parents and the chemistry between Meredith and Michael G. Michael P. Keaton was the most unique teen rebel ever, and Michael J. Fox is just the best there is. Jen from California, $25. Thank you, Seth and James. I've been watching since March. You guys are wonderful. And thank you, Family Ties cast. I love the show so much. Ryan from Wisconsin, $103. Thank you, Seth and James, for brightening this year. What a wonderful flashback tonight. Dr. LaPook, your tireless work to inform us is so much appreciated.
He's coming on soon.
Okay. And Marc from Massachusetts, $25. Great to see you all. And your smiling faces. Meredith, I've been watching you since Bridget Loves Bernie and Family. Thanks for the lifetime of entertainment.
Oh, it's so nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
So everyone can continue to donate at starsinthehouse.com, or you can donate text.
Stella, they didn't get your donation yet.
Text Fund 2020 to 56512 and then forward it to donations at Stars in the House.
Yeah, so we can actually see it.
Stella, Michael, and Meredith and Michael.
Do you want to do one more?
I'm watching Meredith since the 1940s. She's incredible.
So rude.
She was great.
He doesn't show her age.
Are we showing one more clip?
We show one more clip. I think it's Dr. LaPook is coming on.
Okay, well, you talk about tackling serious subjects, and we love how you talk about feminism and being a working mom, and you really show both sides of it, which I think is fascinating. Take a gander at this.
I think this clip is when you had to bring Andy to work, and it was the whole juggling work and family. Go ahead, Steph.
Here we go.
You know, it's not fair, Stephen. We're both parents and we're both working. But no one ever asks you, Stephen, how do you handle a family and a career? I mean, that's not a question anyone ever asks a man.
It's one of the great things about being a man.
But that's the kind of question a woman is supposed to have to answer. And the crazy thing is, I agree with it.
Can't escape this, Elise. We're still partly a product of our own childhood when men worked and women stayed home.
Okay.
Oh, where did Meredith go?
We lost
our Meredith.
Well, you know what? We're going to take our medical break right now. So, Michael, Mike, and Tina, we'll see you on the other side of that.
On the flip side.
Can you keep us chatting?
What'd you say?
Can you take a breakout room for us?
Yeah, so we'll go to the green room.
That's what I know about teaching my kids now during COVID.
We'll see in just a moment.
But if you have a question for Dr. LaPook, feel free.
Feel free.
Okay.
One, Michael Rose, Mr. Michael Fox. Peace out. Dr. Jon LaPook.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Dr. LaPook.
Well, I loved seeing that. And Mike Fox, of all people, gave me some great advice many years ago. My sons are now 24 and 28, but when they were kids, his kids were a little ahead of my kids. And I was one great friend. One of my best friends was Gary David Goldberg. And I used to go down to the set of Spin City. And in fact, we watched a bunch of tapings, and I had actually been active in getting, these defibrillators, these portable defibrillators that you see in airports now. Well, I brought it to our basketball team. He used to go to Lafayette High School and play basketball with his buddies from high school, Gary. In order to be a writer, you had to be 6 foot at least and have a good jump shot. And we would go to Lafayette High School. And one day I showed up with with his writing staff, and I showed up with a defibrillator. So Gary wrote it into a script for Spin City.
Wow.
And Robert Klein was a salesman who came in, and he was going to end up, putting. So I was there for the taping, and he put it on the chest of, I think, the mayor, and he was going to accidentally shock him. And I was aghast because I turned to Gary and I said, Gary, this is what people are afraid. It can't shock you. You're going to kill this entire automatic defibrillator movement with this episode. Don't worry, I won't put it on. But that day when I was there, I said that my kids, I didn't know about schools. And Mike Fox, he said, go talk to Mike. He spent like an hour with me, talking to me, giving me a brain dump. I will never forget that kindness. And it actually made a big difference in terms of where my kids ended up. So, go plan a life.
So, Dr. LaPook, we've got a lot of people watching who haven't perhaps seen Stars in the House. And of course, you started with us way back in March when everything shut down. So, sadly, this has been not the best of times with COVID-19. So, for people, our viewers who maybe have not seen us, and is there anything besides an update that you want to say?
Yeah, actually, I was going to come on with a message today anyway. Yeah. Because there's good news and there's bad news, right? The bad news is we are in the middle of the spikes of all spikes right now. Everybody knows that. If you look at a map of the United States, it looks like we're on fire, right? Hospitalization's going up. It's not just that we're testing more. Deaths are going up. We're getting overwhelmed in various areas, okay? It's the fall. It's the cold weather. People are going indoors. Respiratory viruses like the cold and the dry. So that's the bad news. Couple with that, the fact that we're tired. We're tired of it all. We're fed up. It's months into this. There's still months to go. And a lot of people are saying, the heck with it, okay? But I would say, look what happened yesterday. Yesterday, Pfizer announced preliminary results of their vaccine trial which had more than 90% efficacy at preventing COVID-19, symptomatic COVID-19. They're going to give us all the nitty gritty soon, but this was a press release. Remember that Tony Fauci and others were saying if it's 60, 70%, right, we'd be happy. Remember I came on and I said, I thought theoretically it actually might be higher because it's really just one spike protein we're going
right.
Not like the flu vaccine, which mutates. Anyway, different strains. That blew people away.
90% is huge.
It's huge. I spoke to the chief scientific officer for Pfizer yesterday. I spoke to Kevin Mulligan from NYU Langone, who's running a trial there, and they're all levitated over this, okay? So the good news is it looks like, and there are other vaccine candidates. There are several others in phase 3. Moderna, which you've heard of, has a very similar vaccine platform, which is messenger RNA. Without getting too technical, it's the same type of thing, so it should also be about, very, very effective. I spoke to Tony Fauci yesterday because I happened to interview him for NYU Langone for a medical education day, and he was, levitated and thought it was just amazing. So there's a lot of excitement about this. There's probably going to be several tens of millions of doses. It's 2 doses for this. So day 1 and then day 21. And then 7 days after that, at day 28, there was a little bit more than 90%, or more, they say more than 90% effectiveness. I suspect it's a little bit more. So there's the first responders and the people at high risk are probably going to be first, and they may get the first shot. It's a 2-dose regimen, could be in December. It could be, fairly soon, right? There's going to be in about 10 days an emergency use authorization application from Pfizer. The FDA probably, I suspect, they're going to go through all the rigmarole. They're going to look at it carefully. Nothing's guaranteed, but I suspect it has a good chance of getting approved. Then they've contracted for 100 million doses. That's 50 million people. The United States government has, with an option to buy another 500 million. So enough for all Americans, just for that. And we think that it's going to roll out. And I spoke again to this chief scientific officer. He wasn't ready to commit to whether the average American would get it in the spring, whether it's gradually over 2021, it will roll out. This is enormous. Couple that with the fact that last night, 3 minutes before I was about to go on air to lead the new CBS Evening News with Norah O'Donnell about this, I get a text from the FDA saying they've approved Lilly's monoclonal antibody, emergency use authorization. Remember, it was the Regeneron cocktail of monoclonal antibodies that probably, helped get President Trump better. We think it makes a lot of scientific sense. It's that first phase, the first week. What happens with the infection is there's a lot of viral replication. And then when you have some mild, moderate symptoms, cold, not feeling well, the second week is when your immune system, the inflammatory phase kicks in, and that's the real damaging thing, when the immune system damages your own body with an over-exuberant response. So that first phase, that's what the monoclonal antibodies attack. So if you can snuff out the viral replication phase in that first week, that's fantastic. So they're going to have a therapeutic now for people. This is outpatient from the hospital. We've got a vaccine. There are others coming. So the cavalry is coming, right? But they're not here yet. And so
they're almost here.
What I would say to everybody out there, and this is what I wanted to say today, was don't get COVID now, okay? You've gone this far. We know that, most people do recover from it, but there is this post-COVID syndrome. So you're not out of the woods totally. Afterwards you can have some brain fog. There may be other things going on. Wear the mask. And what was the third thing? Wear the mask. And what was the third thing?
Just put up, don't get COVID. Just a reminder.
Yeah. And remember, there's no real safe distance indoors because of aerosolization. You want to go outdoors. What I'm telling people is, more than 10 feet outdoors. If the wind's blowing the right way, you probably could be without a mask 10 feet or more. Indoors, I'm wearing a mask no matter what. Indoors, I'm wearing a mask unless they're in my pod. And then I want to say one last thing, and this is turning the screw in everybody's head a little bit. I'm sorry to do this, America.
I know what you're going to say. Stay home for Thanksgiving.
Well, it's actually a nuance of that. That's a subset of this. Uncouple eating with socialization. We're so trained that I'll go out to dinner with you. And I know there are restaurants, I know that, and they're suffering. But I got to say, you can go out to a restaurant, maybe outdoors with people in your own pod. But I know people kind of think, well, outdoors is totally safe. And you saw when in the celebrations in the street after the election, I cringed because there were people that wore masks, but they were shoulder to shoulder. No, you have to wear masks and still be 6 feet away, at least, or the farther the better. So I think that eat first and then get together.
Far away.
Far away. If it has to be indoors, wear masks, open the windows, crack the doors, get the air purifiers if you can, be as far away from each other as you can if you have to do it. And if you can, be outdoors. Get some space heaters if you can afford them, or wear coats, sweaters, and see each other outdoors. And if you're too far away because you're older and you can't hear, there are all sorts of devices so that you can call each other on the phone. You can FaceTime each other.
Yeah.
There, you can have speakers. There are all sorts of gizmos that allow you to communicate. So that's I know thousands of years we've been eating together, and we'll go back to that. But just don't try. If you get it, I hope you're fine. But so it's not the end of the world. But you've gone this far. Chris Christie said, he was so careful. So careful. One event he went to, he said he wasn't careful, and he ended up in the ICU. So I think if you are careful, it makes a huge difference. You can dramatically lower your risk. You can do everything right still and still get it. I got to tell you that because I had a colleague who came down with COVID a few days ago. She did everything right. So do the best you can. If you come down with it, you're going to come down with it. But don't lose faith now. There's a lot of reason to try to just redouble your effort.
Okay.
Hold on.
All right, Jon.
Thank you, Dr. LaPook.
We'll see you tomorrow night.
All right.
See you tomorrow.
All right, Seth, you want to bring on the cast members, and then we'll add a few.
Here's Mr. Michael Gross. How about his lovely wife, Meredith Baxter? How about their lovely daughter, Tina? Wait, she's applying lipstick. Hold on. Applying.
She's got it.
Totally saw that.
I like my makeup.
Yeah. And then Michael A. Fox, right? Isn't your real middle initial A?
Yes.
Thank you. I did my research.
It's Canadian, eh?
Hold on, before we bring on everyone else, Meredith, I just texted you some donations. Could you read them before we bring on the other cast members?
Yes, I will. There's 7 of them. Cheryl from Pennsylvania donated $51 and her message, such wonderful memories. Thank you, everyone. Jamie from California, $25. Jacqueline from Pleasantville, $103, donating in honor of Michael. Love you and all you do, forever with humor, humility, integrity, and grace. Gretchen from Indiana, $175. Bert from Wisconsin, $25. His message, you mean the world to us. Thank you for all you do. It's lovely. Beautiful.
And if people don't know, the money is going to the Actors Fund to help anybody in the arts, no matter what they do, to help pay their rent, health insurance, medical bills, backstage, on stage, in front of the camera, behind the camera. So thank you for the donations. That's right. And we've got some cast members.
We have three more cast members to bring on. One of them may be a little bit shaky because he's literally coming to us from his campsite. Marc Pride.
Of course you are, Marc.
Marc, can you hear us?
Hi, Marc.
Yeah, Marc.
Hi, Marc.
Hi, Marc.
He looks adorable.
Are you sure you're not building a time traveling machine?
I feel like Ted Koppel. Hold on. I'd like to apologize to the affiliates. We're going over. That's just it. I can hear you. I found Wi-Fi in a little store in Death Valley. That's where I'm at, in beautiful Death Valley.
Oh, wow.
Named after my acting career. But
still got it.
Even though there's 4 bars, it might be that you can't hear me.
A little wonky. It's great. All right, we want to bring on 2 more cast members. We want to bring on what's that?
Well, it's a pleasure to be here to see everybody again.
Marc. Well, hold on.
We'll show one. We want to show one clip before.
Yeah, because we're worried that Marc, we might lose Marc.
Yeah.
So hold on. And Brian, hold on for 1 second.
Here's a classic Skippy and Alex.
Everybody's
Momo.
worried about that.
Here we go.
The master switch box is behind the blue wrestling mat. This will allow you to switch off the lights,
folks.
lower
Howdy.
the backboards, and in case of an emergency, open the floor over the swimming pool. Let's hope it doesn't come to that.
If I'm ever in this situation with 2 dates for a prom, will you do the same thing for me?
Skipper, let's cross that bridge when we come to it.
Not going to happen. Who else do we got, James Wesley?
We got Scott Valentine, otherwise known as Nick.
1, 2, 3, Mr. Nick.
Hey.
Hey.
Hey, Nick. Oh,
Hello
Scott.
there. Hey,
Hi,
everybody.
darling.
Good to see y'all.
There goes
You all
Marc.
look great. You're all very funny. Very funny.
So
Maybe
enjoyable
consider doing a show together.
again. This is great.
Hold on, but Scott, I have to ask you. Where is it? Did I put it on here? Is it true that you wore a wig in the show, or was that your own hair?
Yes, and Michael and Meredith and Tina were perpetually adjusting it and helping me make sure it didn't slide off my head. Yes.
Why didn't you ask me if I wore the wig? That was the worst.
Tina, this was not a wig.
That was not a wig. Hey, I was voted the worst.
No, it wasn't a wig. That was my hair. Yeah.
No, that was your hair.
All right, we want to bring on Andy, otherwise known as
Brian.
Brian.
He's now 9 years old. Oh, what an angel.
Hi, everybody.
Brian.
It's good to see you.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, it's awesome to see you all.
I heard you talking about the wig. I don't know if you know this, but Tina does have a high hair wig.
Okay.
Thanks, Marc.
That's it.
Brian, how old were you when you joined the show?
Well, I think I was about 3.5 when I interviewed. And what's funny is I do remember that. I remember that interview. And, so much in between is obviously a bit blurry. But I think I started on set when I was 4, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
Man.
Had you ever done anything before? I mean, my gosh, you were.
I did an LA Zoo commercial. I think that was before Family Ties, and I think there was a teddy bear commercial that my sister actually tried out for, and then I poked my head in the door because I wanted to see what was going on in the casting room, and they gave me the part.
Wow.
Oh, that's like in Fame when Leroy tries out.
That started an interesting relationship with my sister and I, but we're best friends now.
Oh, that's
Brian, you look amazing. You look really good.
Thank you very much.
You do.
It means a lot to me. All of you look great. It's really awesome to be here.
I have a question. Those scenes, it really was like watching a play. The scenes in the show are like 15-minute long scenes. So like for Brian, would they just do one-off shots of you and then like get you the hell off the set, or would you sit around for those Shakespearean scenes?
I mean, I can't tell you. I don't really remember.
Go to Michael for that.
Yeah.
Stick it out for a long time. Stick it out for a long time. It was tough. It was tough.
I do remember. Since earlier you guys were talking about butts and farts and stuff, I do remember. I was having one of my tantrums. And I didn't want to go out on stage, and I remember being mooned, and it made me laugh, and I remember going out there. So
who did it, Meredith?
Who mooned you?
Yeah, who mooned you?
The natural suspect. Thank you.
Not I.
Michael Fox.
No, I mooned you. I must have been doing something else, and you just got me in. The girl skitter away in the dark.
It burned into my head forever.
I remember the Hawaiian
Michael
shirt.
Fox is a creepy Uncle Jimmy.
There was a Hawaiian shirt that you wore in a scene, and you wanted to wear it in every scene. You decided.
Oh yeah.
They always send me in to talk to you and say, "Mike, you look great in this shirt too." And Andy McCullum would send me down there. Mike, you have to go down and talk to Brian. You did great. You did great. It's really, you're in a tough situation at your age to be in a show that was so established and so long running, and everyone had just set patterns and everything you did, and you kind of came into it at a young age. So you did great.
I have nothing but amazing memories, and I just I don't know. So, sometimes they come and go, and sometimes I'll just remember something new. It's strange. I don't know. It's weird doing something like that. When you're that young. I mean, I guess I don't really know any different.
Yeah.
But
Speaking of wigs, Andy, were you wearing a beautiful blonde bouffant, or was that your hair?
Oh, that was my hair. Yeah.
Wow.
That was my hair.
Here, look how cute you guys are together.
Yeah, this scene kind of says it all about your relationship, Alex and Andy's relationship. I love that.
Andy, let's get to work, buddy. You got a lot of ground to cover here. First day of kindergarten, you want to get off to a good start, right?
I'm ready, Alex.
And now, the first thing your teacher's going to ask is what you did over the summer. Now, a lot of kids are going to say, I went to the zoo, or I went to the beach, or I went to a baseball game. What are you going to say?
I watched the Iran-Contra hearings.
That's my favorite.
Okay.
When I got the email, I at the last second I noticed you had asked if there was any clips, memorable clips, and that was my favorite for sure.
So we're gonna mention the serious stuff. We want to talk about the heart attack episode.
Oh, that's my best Scott Nick episode. That was best. The best scene ever.
We build up to that amazing.
Yeah, we build up to that, Tina.
Okay, sorry.
It's okay.
No, we love it. But here's the first sort of serious moment, which shows how great Meredith and Michael were together. Before I just show it, were you guys friends beforehand, Michael and Meredith, or did you just have this great chemistry just because you had it?
We're not friends now. No, we did not know each other until we met on the set.
Yeah.
And now I know, Michael, the reason this whole thing happened is because Michael came on my SiriusXM show, and Michael said that, Meredith, the two of you guys tour together and you do love letters, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, let's watch the amazing heart attack acting between the two of you. It's so beautiful, especially if you're married.
It's definitely the comedy and the pathos are just like, it's brilliant. Brilliant writing and brilliant acting. Go ahead, Seth.
I'm worried. It's possible
You're going to live a long time, Stephen.
I want to live a long time. I want to live a long time with you. I want to be old with you. I want to sit on a porch and rock with you.
I want that too.
And when we die, I want us to die together. I want us to get real old. And then say 1, 2, 3, die.
That sounds like fun.
I want it to be that way, Elise.
Me too. Because I cannot imagine being on this earth without you.
So that.
Great.
Their ability to have a serious moment and then punctuate it with a laugh was extraordinary. I give all the credit to the writers. They were amazing.
Oh, we're brilliant that way.
Time and again.
It love to write for you guys.
Go ahead, Mike.
I was going to say the writers love to write for these two because they always came through really beautiful work. I mean, that was just amazing. Meredith, stunning.
No, thank you. It's on the page.
Meredith.
Yeah, but Meredith, that's an amazing line reading. That sounds like fun. Is an amazing line reading.
Yeah.
Hilarious with the head bobbing.
Well, I don't want to let him down when he's in such precarious condition.
You know, that reminds me, if I can interject, a scene I had with Mike Fox when Michael, I don't know if you remember, we were looking through an old scrapbook. We were looking through an old scrapbook, and I'm turning the pages and introducing you to all these people. I said, "Oh, there's Aunt Jane. She's dead now." And I said, "Oh, Uncle Phil, he died of a heart attack," and so forth and so on and so forth. I'd go through like 7 dead people, and you'd look at me and say, "See, this has been fun, Dad. This has been." Everybody was dead.
Now we say nice talk, Dad. Yeah. I still remember the Pop-Tart.
The Pop-Tart.
Well, that's well, those
Pop-Tart, yeah.
He was right in the kitchen and he got hit by a piece of toast and he held it up and he said, "If this were a Pop-Tart, I'd be dead by now." I didn't make it through the single. You got to shoot him in the single because I didn't see you make him laugh. He just looks and he gives you that. He's giving it right now, and you're in trouble.
Michael, I was so angry with you. I thought we'd never get home that night because you couldn't stop laughing.
I know, it was your fault.
When we get home, we got things to do. There's a weekend coming.
You know what's funny? I have to give this memory. other shows were taping on the Paramount lot, and they'd go until 2, 3, 4 in the morning. Sometimes not even finish the show that week. And I'd hear stories of them having to come on the weekend and come back, and everyone was fighting. And some of my friends were working on those shows, and they were just blown away. They were like, "You guys finished tonight?" We finished every night, and we finished with a laugh and a smile and a hug. And that wasn't going on in Hollywood. That wasn't going on most sets.
That's true.
That was Gary Goldberg. I think he ran a tight ship, and he made it a family through and through from top to bottom. And I don't remember a bad moment. I don't remember any negative. Everyone always asked me, "What's the drama? Where was the what's the scoop?" There was none. We were all having a good time.
I think we cared about each other.
Memory. Yeah, we did.
So much. And I think there's a lot of respect in what we all brought to the table, and just watching, and like Michael, you said, timing, your timing, and how you get so many laughs out of one bloody line. How the world you did that, I didn't know. And I loved you all.
I must say, one of the most exciting things for me was when Scott Valentine entered, because one of my big complaints for a long time was Stephen doesn't hate anybody. You know, he's so good. And conflict is part of the fun of any. And he'd always come out with a stock wonderful thing. And they brought Scott Valentine on as Nick, and it gave me somebody to absolutely loathe, and I couldn't have been happier.
Scott, when you got the part, was it supposed to be? Or were you supposed to be on every week? Was it a one-shot deal? Like, how did it start?
No, it was going to be in and out in 1 week. And I remember Gary coming to me on Friday when we were all getting made up, and he said, we're kind of enjoying having you around here. Would you like to hang out for a while? And I'm like, sure, I'd like to hang out. And I was like the date that wouldn't leave. So, Michael got to loathe me for many years.
It was comic gold, mining comic gold.
A beautiful foil, really.
Well, that's a great setup for the after your character has the heart surgery.
And actually, I just wanted you to, Scott, I love, because it is so theatrical. To me, as I'm watching this, I totally noticed you, Scott. I'm sure that there was that laugh that you had to hold for, and I love that you add business, because I'm watching. I'm like, I don't think that business was planned. I think it's because the laugh was so long. I really appreciate your chops, comedy chops.
It was so well set up that I didn't like this young man. That all he had to do was say one line, and the audience would go with us.
Let's take it again. It's hilarious.
I made it. I'm alive. Or is this heaven? Hey. I guess not.
That's great. I love it.
Beautifully set up. You couldn't go wrong. All he had to do was his face.
I still remember Michael having some of the smoothest skin I've ever kissed. It was, I just wanted to know what sort of cream he used.
He does have smooth skin.
Did I send you another batch? I've already forgotten. I'm just having a good time. Did I send? I've already forgotten. Did you get a second batch? And then I actually have another batch, Meredith, I can send you. The donations, your fans are amazing. They keep coming in.
What do we do?
I love
maybe.
I loved hearing the theme song. Thank you, guys. That was actually pretty good.
I thought so too.
Oh, thanks. So much fun.
Great harmony.
Such a beautiful song.
Kevin in Virginia, $50. Family Ties was one of the best comedies ever, and was a huge reason that helped me kicking. Wait, kick what? Oh, duh. I thought he was kicking something. It was a good kickoff to Thursday night comedy.
And it helped him kick his drug habit.
We're reading this.
Yes.
Mary Kate, $10. My son was born 6/21/15, and I like to pretend he's a Keaton. Christina, $10. I love Family Ties. I have the DVDs. I love you guys so much. I have a question for Michael J. Fox. Were the Nike Bruins you wore on Family Ties his own shoes, since he also seemed to wear them in Back to the Future?
Yeah, I wore them all the time, and I wore them to when I had my first meeting at Back to the Future, and they said, they were doing a wardrobe very quickly, and they put together, and they said, what shoes do you want to wear? And I said, how about these? I said, yeah, those are good. And that began a whole industry between Universal and Nike.
Nice. Melissa, $25. So great to see everyone. I have great memories of watching the show with my family. My youngest is named Alex after Alex B. Keaton. Cindy from Norwich, $51. Thanks all. Mike, been a fan and following you since day one. Robert, director of passenger development at WGNRR, $20. We would love to invite Michael Gross to Wisconsin, Great North Railroad in Spooner, Wisconsin. We know he likes trains and would love to host him for a day of riding our trains. Sounds fun, Michael.
He's a train fanatic.
And so there.
You're still there.
What happened to Marc Price? Was he eaten by a brown bear or something?
Who?
Where's Marc Price?
We lost him. It was good that we got that clip in really quick, Michael.
Yeah.
Camping and
There are no brown bears in Joshua Tree.
oh, those scorpions.
I said, Meredith, did you get the next batch?
Yes, I do.
Oh.
Let's see. Pat and Stephanie from California, $25. Family Ties was the first show I understood as a kid and grew up with. Thank you from both of us. Dawn in South Jersey, $10. Brian from Texas, $50. Thank you for doing the Family Ties reunion. I wonder when they decided to end the show. Was it before the last season began? That's a good guess. Madison from Florida, $5. A message for Michael. I met you at Wizard Word Philly in 2016 and got to hug you at the autograph booth. You have been a huge inspiration to me. And William from Port Jefferson, $50. I challenge anyone to find shows on TV now as good as the 80s classics. Family Ties is definitely at the top of that list. Thanks to all of you for getting us through the 80s. You guys rock.
Aww,
that's lovely.
Nice.
That is
Thanks, William.
So kind, so kind.
What do you want to show?
Well, when you got the script for My Name is Alex, was that out of the blue? Was that it's a very different episode for
it's like an off-Broadway one act.
That's right.
We were working on it, and they talked to me about it. I said we're working on it, but it really was I love letters to the character. I mean, it wasn't about me as much as about the character. It was such a wonderfully complex character, and supported. And what I loved about the show is everybody in the family came in, and their influence on Alex was made clear, and their importance to Alex was made clear. I love that about the show. There was great moments with everybody, and it just. And I hadn't done a lot of theater coming up. I'd done a little bit of equity theater in Canada, but not much. And so it's kind of doing that our house, our town, I should say, style was really fun for me. It was fun to get into that rhythm and jump over here and say this and go through this pool of darkness into a pool of light and have this memory. Really good. But I do remember everybody having a really important part in that. You know? I mean, it's like, oh, good, no, Meredith's coming up. Oh, great, it's Justine coming up. And it just was great. It was a great show.
But again, how dark it was and how serious the moments were and how memorable he was remembering things.
So
it was all a big freaking joke on the set. We were laughing and we'd break out into
an Emmy award-winning show, if I recall.
Yeah.
Right.
Was it filmed like
in
a play?
One shot.
In one shot. Because it looked like all of you were frozen in the back. Like Tina, looked like you were on the bed. Like because at least on in syndication, was it originally a 2-part episode or was it an hour when it aired originally?
It ran commercial free for the first half hour, I think. Commercial free for the whole thing. I can't remember. But it was
I think it was commercial free.
Wow. Because Tina, it just looked like you were frozen on the bed. I love the theatricality of it for so long.
Which movie are we talking about?
What's that? What?
Oh,
Just kidding.
That's your comedy.
Well, We have several clips.
I was frozen on the bed in which film?
Yeah, exactly.
Here's a very sweet scene between
Sorry, Mom, I'm joking.
Yeah, exactly. It's Mike and his mom. This when you're a little boy drinking hot chocolate.
I'll tell you a little secret. Sometimes I'd fake a little cough, a little sneeze, a little sniffle, just to get a little extra attention. Hey, who did it hurt? Achoo, achoo.
You all right, honey?
Oh, I'm fine, Bobby. I just got a little cold.
That's
awesome. That was a lovely episode.
Yeah, that's great.
Michael, you carried it well.
Good sound.
But there was a show. You hear me? There was a show where it was Alex's 18th birthday, and Meredith and I had a scene in the kitchen where I don't want to have my birthday with them. I want to have my birthday with my friends drinking down in West Virginia. And Meredith has a scene where I say, "You're not human. You're my mom." And she said, "I'm human, 100% human." I held her hand, and it was just an amazing moment. But she's gone now, and I'm praising her.
I know.
I know, right?
She cut up.
She's so amazing. She always could do that. She could turn on a dime, and you weren't shocked by it. You were sucked in by it. It didn't repel you like, oh, that was sudden. It was like, wow, how did you do that? And you're in a different place.
She'd come up with the goods.
Talking about you, Merzy.
What? I had no sound before.
You're good at the acting.
Oh.
The acting, you're good at it.
So that part was okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank
here
you.
we go. Here's the second part of that clip, Mike. Here we go.
Where is Thumbkin?
Here I am. Here I am.
How are you this morning?
Very well, I thank you.
Run and hide. Run and hide. Where is Thumbkin?
That was the sweetest taste of hot chocolate I ever had in my life. I'm never gonna feel that safe again. Not protected.
So sweet. Wow. Yeah.
Definitely.
Gary David Goldberg and the guys could dig deeply sometimes, and in the next moment they'd have you flip and laughing. It was just amazing.
You know, Tina was talking about the mood on the show, and we're talking about where it came from, and you were saying it came from the top from Gary. The thing that Gary had gratitude. And he taught me gratitude. When we'd say how well we were doing, he'd say, let's be grateful for this, and let's be in this and be joyous and that this is happening to us. And you can see the gratitude in that work because he's grateful to have the opportunity to have these actors to work with and these words to use and he plays this forum for his talents and our talents. Mm-hmm. And he's grateful.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
When you filmed this, Michael or Mike, you weren't yet a father, right?
No.
I love the way you describe your relationship with your dad in this scene. I think it's so beautiful. It's so the way you should raise a child. Listen to this description. It's so beautifully written.
He has great love, my father. Not just for his family, but for life. He doesn't have to make you wrong for him to be right. He doesn't have to make you a loser to be a winner himself. I wish I was more like my father. Oh, Dad, another sister. How could you do this to me?
Alex, some of these things are not controllable, you know?
Yeah.
Someone was an accident. But I love the way you describe that relationship. It's so nice for sons to see that kind of love between a father and a son.
Well, I think it was at that point of our relationship, at that point of the show, it was very easy to, I thought about my father, of course, and I thought about Gary to an extent. But I thought about Michael too. I mean, Michael was that kind of father on the show. I wasn't making something up, to be honest. We go, what does he mean? He's like that. And Michael played Stephen like as a guy who was just a straight shooter and a great guy. And as goofy as he get, as silly as he get, or as wrong as you might think he is, his heart is in the right place. And Michael gave that spirit to everything he did.
You also had a hell of a nice father yourself.
Mm-hmm. I got good kids. I got a good mother.
Yep.
By the way, says hello to all you.
Oh, that's great.
I'm from Los Angeles, so we were supposed to have dinner tonight. So I'm having late dinner with you and having dinner with my son Sam.
And Stella says hello to you all as well.
Oh, cool. Is Stella back there?
Stella is in a room back there somewhere. I have her hidden away. Just kidding.
Well, it wouldn't be Family Ties without in that episode without comedy, and of course Scott Valentine and your scene. It's.
I'm just sound, guys. Can you help me out?
I know it's.
I think you have to come back.
Yeah. Okay.
You think you got nothing to learn from me, Alex? Huh? You don't think I ain't got nothing to teach you?
No, Nick. I don't think you ain't got nothing to teach me.
Alex, what kind of grammar is that?
Sorry, Mrs. Leahy. Just trying to make a point here.
Come on, go away, will you? Okay, you get me into trouble.
Hey, you are just afraid of this side of me and you.
There is no side of you and me, Nick.
Sure there is.
Yeah.
That was great.
Hey, Brian, did you get the donations I sent you? Do you want to?
I did. That's why I'm looking down here and
Yeah.
making sure I got it.
Good. You want to read them?
Yeah. All right. We got Trevor in Los Angeles, $25. He says, it's always been apparent how often affection these performers have had for each other, both on and off screen. It's why I think Family Ties has such a special place in the hearts of its audience.
Oh.
It helped me a lot when I was growing up. Thank you all.
Oh.
That's lovely.
Let's see here. We got Heather in New York City, $51. Thank you for this amazing evening celebrating my favorite TV show. We got Liz from California, $20. No note attached. We have Ben from California, $25. Thank you for this reunion. I was a teller in the 80s, and I named our money counting machine Alex P. Keaton. Thank you, Ben, and Trevor, and Heather, and Liz. And then we have Evelyn from California, $10. Family Ties is one of my favorite shows. Thank you for this reunion. Sending love to you all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Evelyn. And then Phil from California, $25. Thank you for doing this, Seth and James. We love you, Family Ties family. Love the hosts of the Alex P. Keaton Is My Friend podcast.
That's
Is that a real thing?
That's all I got.
Yeah, that's amazing. All right, we're starting to wrap it up. But Seth wanted to show this clip.
Yeah,
of you,
Brian, I love this clip of you. I think your line reading is amazing, dishing your brother. And then I love that it ends with a signature 80s reference. This is when you're not having Courtney Cox.
Alex is a very special guy. I can see why you like him so much.
He's okay.
Oh, dinosaurs. Well, I've always liked dinosaurs.
Well, yeah, I don't like them. They're dumb.
Hey, don't let me interrupt. Just wanted to bring you a ginger ale. Come on, keep the chatter going. You guys are cooking.
I'm gonna go play Space Invaders.
Yes, Space Invaders. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
Say hi.
Who's the little guy, Brian? What's his name?
This is my 1-year-old son, Oliver.
Oh,
honey.
hello, Oliver.
And I just wanted to be able to show. He's
Come here, Lily.
Gorgeous.
He's darling.
Yeah, he's been running around in the other room.
Here.
My wife's been saying,
Yeah, we want to be Lily.
Around the room like a
This is my 15-year-old Lily.
Oh, hi, Bobby.
Bobby, come here. Bobby's shy and angry.
You know, I
really want to say something really quick. This is Bobby. Say hi, Bobby. He's my clone.
Hi, darling.
Everyone says they see Family Ties clips and they say, "Why is Bobby wearing a wig?" Behind the scenes, we talked about Gary and running the show and how great it was, but behind the scenes, we had so much fun. I mean, seriously, the water gun fights, Michael.
Yeah.
The wrestling matches. We got in a lot of trouble. We weren't the most well-disciplined cast because we would have so much fun together. And people would come up to me and say, "Oh my God, you touched Michael J. Fox. Can I just touch you?" And I'd say, Gross. He just pinned me down and farted on my head. He's my brother. He's gross. And the girls just went wild in the 80s for these people that were my family. And I love
girls in their 80s go wild.
What?
And that's girls in their 80s that go wild.
Yeah.
Not in the 80s.
But it was so much. That didn't sound good.
Really?
Just no. Skippy.
Somebody.
Last time I saw him, he spent the night at my house.
Marc shows up behind her.
Exactly right.
What's this?
There he is.
Oh, Jerry.
Oh.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, Jerry would get pissed off at me.
You know, we had a great stage manager, Andrew McCullough, who used to. He really ran a tight ship, and he used to.
A little too tight.
Too tightly wound.
From time to time. You generally last tag that game. Anybody remember?
Oh my God! Yeah, tag.
Tina has now been it for about 31 years.
You lie. You lie. You lie.
You would run around and play tag? You'd
actually
run
around the whole lot. Like I'm talking miles.
Knock over furniture on the set, and we get yelled
You're
at.
it. I'm not it.
I don't.
You're
remember.
it.
I don't
Dive over the buffet.
I do remember you know, I'd just be standing there and people would just fly by running. You know.
Catch me if you can.
But I'm sick, so.
So before we
frozen.
You just froze.
It's not just me.
No. While he's frozen, let me just say, I think I took some of how great we were together for granted. I didn't know how contrary some shows could be and how some casts quarreled the way they did. I mean, I just thought it was all perfection the way ours was. And I didn't really understand that things don't always go this particularly well, that there was no controversy, not a lot of problems.
You were so lucky.
No, and you know something that we would do? We made a point of anytime we had a guest actor on, because I had been on guests on shows, and it's hard. It's hard to come in from outside and come into a group that's really tight and funny, and they've got their own tricks and stuff, and you're sitting around on the outside. And we really made a point of pulling them in and showing what craft service is, and just playing with them too, so they felt at ease. And I think that always worked for us.
Yeah, I think we welcomed our guests. We were good hosts in that respect, and that means a lot to people coming into an established show, as you say.
I remember Scott auditioned. I was outside the room where he auditioned, and he came on and started talking to me. He said, "We got a shot at this." And I said, "You keep great." Remember that?
No,
I don't recall that.
Here, James, start again. Go ahead, James.
Hi, everyone. Can you believe that? Our luck, we lost Wi-Fi. Go to Altisa. Right as we were about to conclude. Not that you needed us.
Well, we'll just go on without you.
But, David, we thought that this song is, I think, from the second season, and we thought it was really apropos for the time that we're living in right now. And we want to thank all of you. Sorry we can't see your faces as we leave. But David, you want to play the song and everyone can say goodbye?
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for joining us and enjoy this last clip. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Come writers and critics, prophesize with your pen. And keep your eyes wide, the chance won't come again. And don't speak too soon, for the wheel's still in spin. And there's no telling who that it's naming.
We on? Oh, there we go.
Okay, so
we can say bye to everyone.
Yeah.
Can you have the sound? Oh, there is no sound because.
Oh, I should go and play something.
Yeah, play.
Am I on? We're back. Just for the last moment.
Literally, just for the last moment.
Well done, guys. Thank you very much.
Our Wi-Fi went out right at the end. Hold on, we're going to say goodbye properly before we end broadcast.
Scott, Brian, how wonderful to see you both. Thank you for